Okay, let's shift to this topic right here, Alonzo. So, obviously, there's high expectations for this Brooklyn Nets team in 2020 and going forward in the Kevin Durant era. So I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on how you're feeling about the team this year. Let's just start off with this. Where do the Brooklyn Nets rank amongst NBA teams right now, in your opinion?
I think they're top. Looking at the roster, I think they're top three, top five team. Honestly, I want to say top two, but I'm gonna be nice to the other teams and say top three, top four. In the East, I think they can maybe fall down a little bit because in the standings, because I think they might not care about the regular season that much. But I think at the end of the year, I think the Nets are going to be one of the best teams in the league, if not the best.
Yeah, I do think the Brooklyn Nets are a top three team in all basketball. I think the Lakers are probably number one. They've got the defending champion, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. They just added a lot of depth to their team during the offseason. They just were the defending champions, and they arguably had one of, if not the best offseason among all teams. I think that Denver's a very good team. I think the Clippers, when they're focused and ready to go, they're really good. I think that Milwaukee, with the addition of Drew Holiday, is very good as well. I do think Miami's still pretty good, even though I do think that they might get exposed a little bit this year. I think last year they kind of benefited from being in the bubble, but yeah, we're definitely at worst a top five team talent-wise, and I think that if we put it all together, we very well could be in the NBA Finals. This team is very deep. Obviously you look at Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, top three duo easily in all basketball, but we really don't have a third star. I think that Karis LeVert could be that guy this year. If he takes a big step, he definitely could be that third star to give you, 15 to 20 points per game on some big nights. He stepped up big in the bubble, no doubt. So, the Jarrett Allens of the world, the DeAndre Jordans, the Joe Harrises, the Landry Shamet, Torian Prince, he's really good as well. Even a guy like Jeff Green, we're starting to get really deep into the roster, and Jeff Green was really good for Houston last year. So I think that this Nets team definitely has a lot of depth, and they can use a lot of different lineups. They can go small. They can kind of go big a little bit with DeAndre Jordan, Jarrett Allen. Kevin Durant brings some length to that lineup as well. And if this team gels right off the bat, they very well could win the NBA Finals this year. So, Alonzo, I need your final prediction for the Brooklyn Nets this year. Then we'll end the show. Where do you see the Brooklyn Nets finishing this year? Personally, for me, this year, I'm actually really not going to officially make an NBA Finals prediction. I think the Lakers probably should be the favorites this year, but if I were to guess, I say this Brooklyn Nets team at least ends up in the conference finals. I think that, they'll at least be in the conference finals. I don't see them getting upset by anyone early in the playoffs or anything like that. I think that, it's just one of those things where if we can get about one more year of chemistry with Kyrie and Kevin Durant, I think next year will probably be the favorites. We could win the championship this year, no doubt about it. It definitely could happen. But I think that this year we'll at least be in the conference finals. That's all I'm going to guarantee. What do you think?
I agree with you 100%. I think at least the conference finals, but I honestly I wouldn't be surprised if we mess around and won a championship this year. When you got a roster like this from top to bottom, you can do really anything. But I agree. I think conference finals is going to be that time that I think that's the worst that they can do. I think they have so many things and so many players that it's going to be really hard to stop them. They can, like you talked about, they're so deep. They can do so many different lineups. They can match up with other teams or force teams to match up with them. And I think Spencer Dinwiddie is going to be really huge for this team this year. I was just talking to some of my friends, and I told them I think Spencer Dinwiddie is going to win Sixth Man of the Year this year. I think he's deserved it past few years. I think he got snubbed for most improved player a few years ago when Pascal Siakam won. But I think this is going to be the year where Spencer Dinwiddie takes that next level and ends up looking like a superstar, because at the end of the year, he can leave if he wants. So I think he has a lot of things to prove, and I think he wants to prove that he can be one of those guys to lead a team to a championship.
Yeah, and I really don't want to be the guy to come out and say, "Oh, Brooklyn's going to win a championship this year." I believe in the Kevin Durant era, it will happen. I don't know if it'll be this year, next year, or whatnot, but I think that at some point within the next 4 to 5 seasons, Kevin Durant will at least bring one title to Brooklyn. And listen, there's a lot of questions about all these teams. The Lakers. Everyone says they're the prohibitive favorites. I think the Brooklyn Nets definitely match up with the Los Angeles Lakers. I think Kevin Durant at least can match LeBron James. We know what Kyrie Irving can do, and we're just as deep as the Los Angeles Lakers. It's all about the chemistry. It's all about, getting the guys ready to buy in. It's all about, is Steve Nash and this coaching staff going to be up to speed once the NBA playoffs roll around? And listen, we've seen some upsets in the past. The LeBron James-led Miami Heat team did not win a championship their first year. We obviously saw the Golden State Warriors blow a 3-1 lead when they were a 73-win team. Who would have thought that would have happened? So I'm not here to predict a whole bunch of things. All I'm going to say is, if the Nets don't make the conference finals, y'all can hold me to it. Y'all can hold Alonzo to it and whatnot. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have, Alonzo. Thank you so much for joining. Anything else you want to plug in? You can plug in your social media if you want or anything like that. Obviously, you go to Bowling Green State University. He's a guy that I went to high school with. Alonzo, you're a cool guy. Anything else that you want to say or plug in before you exit the Juice Alert?
I just want to say thank you for having me. If anybody wants to follow me on social media, it's that dude Zoe, DATDUDE, Zoe ___. I'm just gonna say KD for MVP. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh, I think Kevin Durant could definitely win MVP. I think Luka Doncic might have that in the bag this year, though.
Yeah, that's in the back of my head. I think KD can do it.
I think Durant is one of those players where he's at a point in his career where he knows the media is only going to give him so much credit. He's gotten to a point where he needs to win some championships. I think that we recognize he's got the titles in Golden State, but winning a second MVP would definitely go a long way. We'll see. I think that Kevin Durant will definitely be in the running, but I think that he's going to kind of want to pace himself, kind of get in the flow of things, see how things go before he really starts amping things up. He likes to save himself for the playoffs, and I'll take playoff mode Kevin Durant over him winning MVP all day, every day, man. But Alonzo, appreciate you for joining the show, man. It was a great episode. We're going to pretty much end this thing right here. Thank you, Alonzo, for joining, and stay safe out there, man.
Always. Thank you for having me, my guy.
No doubt, no doubt. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.